Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope in Nigeria, and of course, a new Nigeria is certainly possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on your time zone. Today, we have come out to have discussion on what is happening in Nigeria, especially as the ex-governor of Kogi State is having his heard in court. He was in court today, represented by his counsel, who obviously is objecting to the act, the EFCC act. And you will be surprised on the challenge that is coming in court today, as the lawyer to Yahaya Bello clearly told the court today that the EFCC is acting illegal. They are under an illegal enactment. So much that they are talking about. Then we are going to bring you some of the things that are happening in the opposition, as the only credible opposition and official opposition we now have is the Obidient and the Labour Party, as PDP has been breaking into pieces with the feud between Wike and Atiku. We have the likes of Rt.Hon Ihedioha leaving the party, dumping, and several other people dumping the party. We are going to bring you both the letter that he wrote resigning from the PDP, and then we'll bring you all the things that are happening in Abia State, where our owner Alex Oti continues to work strong and also opened up the issue of a missing airport in Abia State. It's really funny. But I'm not the only one to discuss all this here. I have Divine in the studio.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast.
Yes, so we'll be starting up with what is happening with Yahaya Bello in court, and all the things that transpired in court. I will expect that those things in court should be, positioned so that everybody will understand that Yahaya Bello is finally going to appear before the court. He seemed afraid to actually appear in court, as his counsel states he's afraid. But the former governor of Kogi State has refused the offer by the EFCC. And that very offer is to suspend the execution of an arrest warrant issued against him. That warrant he has been running against all this while. He has asked, he has said, you know what, let them suspend it. And the warrant was issued on this April 17 by the Federal High Court in Abuja. That is Ihedioha, the son who argued this case before the court today, said that the offer made by EFCC Kemi's Peniero's son was not acceptable to Yahaya Bello, as it is not recognized by law. The lawyer for the EFCC proposed that the arrest order will not be executed if Bello's lawyers could guarantee their client's physical presence in court on the next adjourned date. And in response, the lawyer for Yahaya Bello stated that they cannot accept that offer as it is not legally binding. You can see the drama that was happening in court today. Justice Emeka Wite granted the EFCC's application for service of the charge on Bello through substituted means. Bello's lawyer objected to the substituted service, but the objection was overruled by the court. The charge and accompanying documents were then handed to Bello's lead lawyer, Abdul Wahab Mohammed San. And then Ihedioha subsequently applied for the warrant of arrest to be vacated, citing the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, so that they can be able to quash it. However, the lawyer to EFCC objected, stating that the court cannot hear any application filed by the defendant until he has been arraigned. He must appear in court. And then the EFCC lawyer argued that the defendant's application can only be heard after his arraignment in accordance with the ACJA Act. Ihedioha and Mohammed, on the other hand, argued that the court should exercise its inherent powers to hear the applications. Mohammed also raised objections to the jurisdiction of the court, stating that the EFCC is an illegal body. That is the cocoa that EFCC is an illegal body. Well, the lawyer to EFCC countered this argument, asserting that the legality of the EFCC has already been resolved, that the case against Bello, Yahaya Bello, involves allegations of money laundering to appropriation of public funds. The court then adjourned the case until May 10th for ruling again. That is the normal things that we see that do happen all the time. They keep postponing any case that involves big person. They keep postponing it. But let's be clear. Is it that the EFCC and the police and all the DSS and all the security apparatus we have in this country does not know where Yahaya Bello is right now? Is that what they won't tell us?
Basically,
how stupid do they think we are?
I just think they are doing what they can do, to be honest, because I think they're trying to follow due process, right? And it's this due process that might actually make or mar this entire procedure, because if you're it can also be sabotaged, because we know how Nigerian politicians like to move and tussle, right? So we understand that they know where he is, but they don't just want to go and just, bundle him up. Exactly, because they're trying to, do it with due procedure, but he's not trying to succumb to due procedure. So
well, if we're talking about due process, even the likes of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he was arrested in Kenya, or rather he was bundled from Kenya. His matter went up to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. At the end of the day, what did they say? It was wrong to have apprehended him, but they can't release him based on that because he was actually acquitted. You understand? So, if all the law enforcement in Nigeria, knowing that this Yahaya Bello is wanted, police have declared him, court has declared it has not been vacated yet, and all of that. Are you telling me that? My question is, they know where he is? Let's be clear.
They know where he is, but at the same time, it's like what I said. The point is, they are trying to give him as much, quote unquote, respect for him to come out and follow the due process. Then we can see right now that he's evading arrest and all of that. Then it's now left for EFCC to decide to take every other possible measure to make sure they apprehend him. So
those people that EFCC go into their house, break into their door, abduct those people and bring them out, even students, they enter into their hostel, break down their door, go there and arrest them. So what difference is this? Those students we are talking about that were arrested in different places, what they are stealing is not up to 1 million or stuff like that. But this one we are talking about billions.
Like, we will not act like we don't know, EFCC is very, I don't want to say partisan, because right now they're trying to, fend for their reputation that is already lacking in public eye. But we know that, yes, they've always been the people to actually jump into any possible way. After all, when they wanted to arrest Rocha Sokorocha, they jumped through ceilings and all of that. So I understand that you are asking for the same level of, tenacity when you are coming to chase this particular person. But what I'm just trying to say is the fact that he is a politician and he probably has links to these government officials and all of that. And so it's probably harder. Who knows the, issues they are facing behind closed doors in apprehending him. Maybe he has people behind him that are actively not in the media or in the limelight, but they are just there pulling the right strings for him. Yeah, so it might be hard to do that whole.
Yeah, I'm bringing this out because Divine, they do things to suit what they wanted to suit. Right. If you recall, in the case of former Governor Obidient of Anambra State, right, they arrested him at the airport. You understand me? It was very clear, and they took him to Abuja. And several, like today again, one Hadi Sarika, the former aviation minister, who is said to have embezzled about either 8 billion naira. I mean, they summoned him and he went to the EFCC. He's arrested today. And I mean, why would he be running from the EFCC if you think that your hands are clean? Go to EFCC and answer them. Go to court and answer them.
The only difference with Sivika or Saraki, rather, the former aviation minister, is the fact that he went there by himself. He was summoned and he has gone there to answer them. They said they are questioning him. If they have any other reason to detain him, that's between him and them. But it is that civility that Kogi State, former Kogi State governor is lacking, because if you are being accused of things, just answer to them instead of going through all of that. So we understand that maybe we expect the same level of pressure coming from the EFCC, but at the same time, we cannot act like this is not Nigeria, and we know that there's a way they play their politics here. There's probably people out here or behind the scenes who are trying to make it possible, because this is not the first time we've had situations where a governor comes out and they say they are probing him. After the probe, we never really get to see anything, you know, different eventually. So I'm thinking maybe we should soft pedal on the EFCC, not to say they should not do what they have to do, but more like we should try to see if they go through a different process, maybe we're going to get different results, because most times they do all of that jumping and all of that you know, arresting, and we don't get, you know, results. So I'm trying to see if they don't do the arrest this time or do the major stunts they usually pull, would we actually get to, you know, a favorable conclusion?
Well, I think what is actually chasing this Kogi State governor is all the atrocities he committed in that state, because a lot of people have been crying, even praying for him to be captured and all of that. Yeah. So I believe that all of those things, we are going to see, we are going to be following this very issue, because when you see a young man who has hurt his people so bad in governance, it's going to come back, it's going to boomerang back to him. We recall the time that he did even break the road because he doesn't want a certain senator to win an election. So many things. Even this Ododo that is the governor in that very place, God will actually do his own miracle for and rescue the people of Kogi State. If you are from that state, say amen. And then let's move to the next thing we have on the table. We have the things that are happening in PDP. Yes, we know it's happening in Labour Party and it's also happening. But the big thing that is happening in PDP is that Wike, not just that he has destabilized or reduced the governance in Rivers State, but he has actually decided to eliminate possible challenges from the PDP side of it. Probably, just like Daniel Bwala said, he is a member of the PDP, but if you ask his body and soul, he is not in the PDP. So, if you have people like that who are even supporters of Atiku Abubakar, who happens to be their flag bearer, all running away from this very party, and then many other serving honorable members and senators trying to jump out of the PDP, then it means that that very executive clampdown is working on them. That voodoo that is coming from the APC has started affecting them, and it's not coming from any other than Wike. We know that, and you guys need to, for people of PDP, in as much as we are not, you know, advocating for you, but at the same time, you guys need to put yourself in order, because we need to actually look at the opposition. We are the opposition. You are also opposition, and we want you guys to put your house in order, so that the Obedience can have the people who they can be talking to in terms of the opposition. Now, we have seen the likes of the former governor of Imo State, Right Honorable Ihedioha, resign from the PDP. The former Imo State Governor, Emeka Ihedioha, has tendered his resignation to the People's Democratic Party, citing a alignment between his personal beliefs and the current trajectory in the party. In a resignation letter that we can see on the screen here, addressed to the chairman of his constituency or his ward, Mbatu Ward, Aboise local government area of Imo State, Ihedioha expressed his dedication to the advancement of democracy and good governance in Nigeria, despite his decision to step away from the party. Having been a member of the PDP since its inception, according to him in 1998, Ihedioha highlighted his contribution to the growth and the evolution of the party, noting its historical commitment to internal reforms and providing credible leadership both in and out of power. However, Ihedioha lamented very well that recent development within the party that has deviated from its core principle. He voiced concerns over the party's inability to enact internal reform, uphold its own regulations, effectively opposing the ruling APC. And those are the people who are causing them all of this. So, and that's what he called the clause of all his resignation. But then we know that all of this thing coming out from there is not far away from Tinubu's Vuvuzela. and then an addition of pepper and salt from Wike that is making them destabilized.
Right, we understand that it is necessary, like I've said earlier on these shows, previous shows, that it is necessary for the ruling party that, or it is really convenient for them to have the other oppositions going back and forth with each other. And so this resignation from Right Honorable Ihedioha just shows that not just Labour Party is having their drama, but PDP, and it is all pointing at one thing, that there are people in the APC. I hate to exonerate the party and their own greeds and whatever is going on between them, but it is actually very plausible to actually believe that there are members of the APC who it is their work to destabilize these parties and their structure against the 2027 election.
Okay, let's take other things that are in a lighter mood on what is happening on Abia State, which is a close brother and sister to Imo State, on Alex Oti is doing good. But there is something that Alex Oti mentioned when he went to the US about a missing airport in Abia State. And I do wonder, how can airport be missing? And he said this, I think billions of naira was actually awarded for that very airport and all of that. But before we get into what he said, this is Alex Oti at Hopkins University School in the Advanced International Study, Washington, D.C., stated that the immediate past governor of the state, Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, approved funds for non-existing airports. According to Alex Oti, a forensic audit conducted by an audit firm revealed how the immediate past government of Abia State, Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, approved funds to contractors for the construction of non-existent state-owned airport and other infrastructures in the state. Really, you need to hear how he said this, because when you hear this, you could actually understand where I'm coming from when I saw that very video. Let's take a listen to what he said at Johns Hopkins University in the USA. Let's take a listen.
Corruption. I had set up a forensic audit as soon as I took over last year in Abia, and so that there won't be any argument, I called in one of the top 3 audit firms in the world, and not too long ago they turned in their report, and some of the things in the report are frightening. So, some 9.3 billion naira was paid to 7 contractors for contracts that were not executed at all up till today. Another 15.9 billion naira, almost 16 billion, was paid to 63 contractors with no supporting documents anywhere in the state. Another 12 billion naira was paid to 2 contractors for contracts that do not exist. Out of this figure, 10 billion naira was on September 25, 2020. And that is almost 4 years. Paid to some contractor for the construction of Abia State Airport. We have spent time trying to locate the airport. Up till now, we have failed. In fact, one of my aides told me the other day that maybe we are using native intelligence to look for the airport, that we should seek artificial intelligence. So as we continue to look for our airport, we have also involved security agencies to help us search. And so that's just an example of what typically happens. And when you juxtapose that with pensions that were lying unpaid for about 10 years and salary arrears. Just one of these said in the 10 billion that was spent to build a non-existent airport was exactly the amount of money that our government used to take off the pension arrears.
That is Alex Otidia, who said that it is difficult to admit how some Nigerian leaders contest elections for reasons shrouded in corruption. And we know he took over office from Okezie in this 2023, and he explained that some politicians have abused the privilege of governance, thereby improvising, making their state to just go bad. But the issue of missing airports, what can you say about this? How can an airport be missing? Airports, I mean, it's really funny. How can an airport be missing?
Well, we are in Nigeria. Everything and anything is very much possible. So we understand that airports can miss. Snakes can swallow money. Things can happen here in this country. So we know that he did not build any airports, basically. After all, I mean, I've been to Abia a couple of times, or Abia State, rather, and we know that there is no airport. And so if there's any money he took from the coffers of government under the pretense of going to make any airports for them, then he needs to actively be investigated. So he answers to Abia as to what he did with taxpayers' money, because I don't want to be the, lamentator particularly, but while Okezie Ikpeazu was in Abia State, it was a lot going on. I mean, it was just recently, His Excellency Alex Oti just cleared off over 10 years of pension debt, and it just has me thinking, if you were governor for like 8 years, what were you doing that you owed pension for that long? So it is actually very, very and
he got quite a whole lot of money, pension,
right,
from Paris Refund Fund, so many money. But anyway, let me just quote for some people who are here and are saying they were unable to hear what His Excellency Oti said. Let me just quote him in verbatim in that very context. When he was talking about corruption, he said, I set up a forensic audit as soon as I took over last year in Abia so that there won't be any argument. I called in one of the top 3 audit firms in the world, and not too long ago, they sent in their report, and some of the things in the report are frightening. So, he said, 79.3 billion was paid to 7 contractors for contracts that were not executed at all up till today. That's what he said. Then another 15.9 billion, almost 16 billion, was paid to 63 contractors with no supporting documents anywhere. He further explained so many other things that happened in the state. So, but those are the basic things that actually happened in that his broadcast. However, let's even look at it from the missing airport point. Will be the mantra of the writer here says that they are more interested in recovering the money of the Abia people than fighting the man that is already down, because Okezie Ikpeazu is already down. And we actually wonder, before I get to that topic, we actually wonder why EFCC is not going after him after what happened in Abia, after the change that is happening in Abia. Does that mean that they have not found that man culpable to embezzlement or something?
Well, I'd say let's be patient, because I mean they're still dealing with Yahaya that is jumping from pillar to post, evading arrest. So I want to believe that after him, maybe they will come after every other politician that is accused of using taxpayers' money. I just want to believe that.
Well, I think the only worst thing than a liar is a liar that is almost a hypocrite. Yes, for the record, this His Excellency Alex Oti government took firm decision on assumption of office because he's an obedient, not to allow the discussion of former government of Okezie Ikpeazu or those of his predecessors occupying the front burner in his administration, so that they would not constitute a distraction like what is happening in Rivers State, given the enormity of the tax ahead of them, like the roads that they are putting in order, paying off the pensions, the arrears, salaries that are withheld, all those things. However, like so many other these things, those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. That is one of the philosophers said. Now, it will be an impossibility to completely clear the mess arising from the misdeeds of the past without understanding the foundation of the problem and making the necessary corrections that could help chart a new progressive direction. In responding to the revelation made by Alex Oti over the funds allegedly diverted by Ikpeazu government for the non-existent airport project and other funds that he mentioned here that he paid for contractors for non-existent jobs as revealed by the said forensic audit, that Ikpeazu resorted to the same primitive siege strategy using his former commissioner for information, John Carlo, and his spokesperson, I think One Onyebuchi, who has been calling Governor Oti unprintable names, including a liar. Yes, it was all over the news, calling him a liar that he does not know what he was talking about in that very video in the US. All liars lie to protect themselves, to shield their egos from the raw part of truth. The man maintained that they did not expect Ikpeazu and his confused crying cronies to own up to the horrendous heist committed against the people of Abia State. Hence, they were not shocked by the sadistic onslaught being fired by them from different directions. The question is, can this aggressive evaporations erase the strongly established facts of their financial malfeasance? Before we answer this question, let's briefly look at a few of Ikpeazu's trajectory of lies and inconsistencies in utterances and actions, and this would help us establish who the true liar is. Because when you call an Obidient a liar, we take it seriously when you say Alex Oti is a liar. First, in October of 2015, October 1st precisely, Ikpeazu had this to say, and I quote him, "We have received the bailout fund and it has been channeled to clear the salary arrears. I have said it that we are going to dedicate it to what it meant for, and we have opened up the system by setting up a committee to manage fund and ensure it is used for the purpose." People should stop. I'm still quoting what he said. Ikpeazu. He said, people should stop lobbying for the bailout fund to be diverted for something else. It will not happen under my watch. I wish to reiterate my charge to the members of the bailout committee to ensure that by Friday, October 30th, 2015, all outstanding salaries and pensions in Abia State has to be defrayed. This is Ikpeazu's promise to the people of Imo State, of Abia State. And he continued, I quote him, "I wish to state that contrary to the fears expressed in some quarters, the setting up of the committee to manage the disbursement of the funds does not have any ulterior motive. The work of the committee is not costing us any money. It is made up of those who are already in the system. They are working for their state." End of quote from Ikpeazu. Now, from these statements above, it is clear that Ikpeazu knew that the public, including civil servants and pensioners, did not trust his words of assurances. And as expected, he fooled the people. He never kept his promise. The question is, what happened to the 14.15 billion bailout fund? Ikpeazu is yet to provide an answer to this question. That bailout fund, 14.15 billion, there is no answer to the question. Ikpeazu continued to owe workers and pensioners despite receiving allocations and borrowing heavily from financial institutions. After receiving the first tranche of the Paris Club refund of 22 billion, Ikpeazu had this to say at a grand civic reception by the Ohaneze community of Obingwa local government area in January of 2017. And I quote him, "I here to let you know that no kobo from the funds will be unaccounted for. And in line with this commitment to make good my promise, I want to announce to you that this government will begin the payment of Abia State staff salaries through individual checks to assure that ghost workers are checked." I continue to quote him. I assure you that the 50% of the Paris Club refund must be used to pay salaries in line with the instruction of the federal government. End of quote. Neither salaries nor pensions were paid till today. Ihedioha is here to account for what he did with the Paris Club refund as he left the liabilities, including 7 months salary arrears to doctors and of Abia State University Teaching Hospital, Aba. Before Governor Oti took over, the doctors only called off their 4-month strike action after Governor Oti intervened shortly before his inauguration. If Ihedioha could be owing staff of such a sensitive institution 7 months salary arrears, one could imagine what happened to other institutions. Of course, some were owed up to 30 months. So much things that were happening in Imo State. And I can see the people from Ihedioha's side, they keep hitting back. They keep hitting back. So if EFCC has not come to carry Ihedioha, why are they still, showcasing themselves? Because all this while, His Excellency Alex Oti has bent on making sure that Abia State is repositioned, doing roads, constructing everywhere, and making sure that Abia is the next Dubai that we have in Nigeria here.
Well, I just think it's particularly interesting, the fact that we have all these billions being mentioned consistently, and it has to do with someone's negligence, because you're taking money, you're doing this, you're doing that, and yet we don't have, one thing to point out particularly to say, this is what you did with all this money. So my humble opinion is the fact that in as much as like the Alex Oti-led government has decided that, we don't want to be distracted by a man, in their own words, that's already down, I still think he needs to be called to be accountable for his actions while he was the steward for Abia State. So basically my point is they should focus, he should continue with the good work he's doing in Abia State. The Obedients are proud of him. A lot of Nigerians are proud of him. Particularly he has showed what good governance entails, and the fact that when you have a good heart for the people and good intentions for the people, it will reflect in your policies and your choices of action. But for Ihedioha, for every single thing or every single penny that he took under Abia State while he was governor of Abia State, I expect them, in fact it was Kanu State governor that managed to, because EFCC was reluctant to prosecute Kanu concerning the alleged bribe and all of that, the video that circulated all through social media in 2018. So I expect the Abia State government, if the EFCC is reluctant or they are busy chasing Yahaya Bello from one place to another, the Abia State government can just set up a committee to probe it, and if there is actually solid facts that backs up the claim that this man actually looted Abians, then they should take it to EFCC and prosecute him, because it has come to a point in Nigerian politics that we should be able to account for the people we give mandates to, and so this is all I have to. Because
the funds must be somewhere. Right. It's either it's stored in one cooler or it's actually in one building, which the Abia State people could actually take back. Well, our time has really given us signal, because if we continue to go on this matter of Abia, it will go on and on. However, I know that His Excellency Alex Oti of Abia State is focused on giving good governance to the people of Abia State, and is not joining issues with the prosecution and all of that. But if it is required of him, of course, I believe that if this too much talk coming from the people of the former Commissioner of Finance, which is Obinna Oriak, one of the written so many articles that are not looking so good, but let them disregard. Well, my people, we have said so much here, and as we're about to take off from this place, I want to bring it up to you guys that Obidient Family TV is back. We were hacked before, and all our viewers are not getting notification, or rather the reports coming out from most of Obedience and the well-meaning Nigerians who watch us are saying they are no longer getting notifications. So I will use this opportunity to say, please and please, to support the Obedient Family TV, do activate your notification button again, so that whenever we go live like between 2-3 times in a day, so that at least you see what we are talking about and see how you could help the search towards this very direction of a new Nigeria that we know is possible. So please, like and share this video, and also put up your notification button so that when we come live tomorrow, you will hear. Then I will not also fail to mention the fact that the structure of the Obidient movement from the grassroots, the organic structure is taking place across the Federation in all the states of the Federation. Registrations under a cooperative welfare for all obedience is happening as we speak now. You can join us by clicking on the link that is on the on this very video. On this very comment section, there is a WhatsApp platform that you can join the community. And when you get into the community, then of course you can look at the local government that are available and see where you fit into the resident. But please do choose where you reside, because the cooperative society is domiciled to different local government where you have your residence. Where you work is where we're talking about, not where you were born. So please join us in this our march for a new Nigeria. Just click on the link that is in there. It's a WhatsApp link. You join the Obidient Family Community Platform. It's national, but from there you enter the steering committee, and from the steering committee, of course, you navigate to the local government that are there according to how you, of course, when you enter the community and you feel you don't know how to proceed, do feel free to ask questions, and of course you'll be answered and you'll be directed on how to proceed. Join the movement now, for a new Nigeria is certainly possible. We need to start from the grassroots, an organic structure from the wards, the local government, state executive, and then we'll be stronger together. Until tomorrow, bye for now.